Hi, everyone. Welcome to CS Ed Week 2021. I'm one of the co-hosts, and my name is Sheila Lee. I'm a STEM/computer science teacher who teaches in a public elementary school in New York City. And joining me today as co-host as well, we have
Here we go. Nate Myers, STEM and computer science teacher for middle school in North Carolina.
And we are so happy to welcome you to another event of CS Ed Week. And of course, those of you that have joined us from the very beginning of this week, we've had an amazing set of events. If you were here with us, we kicked off with our CS Heroes panel on Monday. We talked about affirming students' identities with the KPOR Center that same evening. And then on Tuesday, we had an amazing session with Code.org integrating coding with literacy. Now, we've also been talking a lot about how teachers can be advocates for underrepresented groups in CS as well, because these issues around ethics and underrepresented groups has not been lost on us. This was a conversation we had with ESEP last night. So thank you everyone that's been able to join us for all of these events so far. Today, you're in for a special treat. We are joined by the CS for All team and state and local leaders for a session where we highlight meaningful anecdotes and success stories from across our nationwide script network. Now, this session will highlight strategies for success and implementing script tools, which we'll hear more about, for making plans and setting goals for impacting schools and classrooms.
All righty. Thank you, Sheila, for that great start and introduction. We're incredibly thankful to our sponsors, Cognizant, for sponsoring this event today and all of the other CS Ed Week events this week. And so let us jump right in and get started. Today we have an amazing group joining us. We have as part of the team today, Ren Hoffman is the script implementation manager at CS for All.
We also have Karen Chang, the Senior Manager of Programs and Partnerships at CS for All.
And we have Leanne DeLizer, the Executive Director and Co-Founder for CS for All. So Ren, Karen, Leanne, welcome. And we're going to turn it straight over to you ladies to introduce the rest of your team and take it away.
Thanks so much, Nate and Sheila. Welcome, everyone. We're so excited to have you join us this afternoon for this session. We're looking at taking a look at implementing computer science initiatives with district teams and start out by taking that initial step in building our computer science visions. And then we'll jump right into hearing success stories from local computer science leaders across the nation that we work with. So we're really excited to have you with us, and let's get started. Go ahead.
Hi, everybody. So glad you could join us this year for CS Education Week. My name is Leanne DeLizer, and I'm the Executive Director, as Nate said, here at Computer Science for All. And our focus at CS for All is really to work on the systems change that is necessary to make all of your efforts easier to do. We want to make sure that high-quality computer science education is a part of every student and teacher journey across the space. And we know that you're all working so hard in your classrooms, in your out-of-school time programs, at your universities, even at home, because parents still do this work with kids, to think about how we give them this exposure to computer science education. So when we think about what that means at Computer Science for All, that means we bring together this big, huge, massive community. We've got a membership of over 700 members that we bring together and convene, ask them important questions about what does success look like and what should we be doing with kids, build frameworks around their ideas and the ways that they think that computer science is important and the ways that we can change our systems to bring that to all students. And then finally, we help facilitate the implementation of those frameworks across the country. We know that we are not a one-size-fits-all nation, and so we're going to need different solutions. And you can find resources for all of these different things and the ways that it's being approached locally in our member directory, which is available on our website, csforall.org. In our commitments database, you can see inspiration for how other partners across the country are leveraging computer science education to make change in their communities. And then finally, some pieces we're going to give you an insight into today, our SCRIPT program, where we do strategic planning and facilitation with school districts to have them think about, in this big wide world of possibilities, what's most important to them? And how do they find a place in this movement for computer science education? And that's so appropriate for CS Education Week, because even when it started over, oh my goodness, 15 years ago, it started with a teacher. And that teacher invited his community to become a part of the movement for computer science education. And since that time, we've seen teachers, and it's grown into policymakers and organizations and advocacy networks now, where we have this big, huge national movement focused on computer science education. As we're thinking about this work, we really want to understand what it means to take a first step, right? And I think sometimes we take first steps while we're blindfolded. We don't yet know where we want to go. How many of you have heard, and talk to me in the chat on YouTube if you're there, how many of you heard the expression that we're building the plane while we're flying it, right? I want to see how many people have heard or used that expression while they've been talking about computer science education. We've been thinking about, like, where is this all going to go? But we can't wait for it to settle. Otherwise, we leave generations of kids behind. And so as we think about where we want to go, what's a good way that we can at least set a North Star and let us take a step in the right direction? And so at CS for All, we use something called CS Visions as the very first step of our SCRIPT workshop. And it's the foundation for the activity that we've shared out with you on the CS Ed Week website, and ways that you can definitely get a starting point, even if you don't know every single turn along the path. When I run SCRIPT workshops, I like to say we want to go to the end of the driveway and know that we have to turn left instead of right. Just those first starting points. And so when we do CS Visions, what we're really trying to make sure we do is think about the ways computer science can impact our students and how that impact can then be aligned back to the instructional choices, curricular choices, professional development choices we make along the way. So these are 7 impact areas that grew out of one of those convenings and frameworks that we described a little bit earlier. This was built with input from over 100 different organizations. And when they told us why CS could be important, we came up with these 7 areas. Personal agency, joy, and fulfillment. It's fun, and it gives kids a voice in this atmosphere. Economic and workforce development. We've all heard how many jobs there are that are available in computing fields. Competencies and literacies. This is a 21st century skill for all students. School reform and improvement. Computer science education is full of the things we just believe are good schooling, right? Collaboration, communication, students working on projects and real world problems. Equity and social justice. We know that there are gaps in participation, and computer science can not only be a way, education in K-12 can not only be a way to address those gaps, but also the economic disparities that exist in our country. Technological, social, and scientific innovation. You can't even cure cancer nowadays without computer science education. And finally, citizenship and civic engagement. If you want to make real change, whether it be in your community or the world, computer science is a tool you should have in your toolbox in order to facilitate that change. So how does this translate into practice? Well, Karen and Ren, together with our SCRIPT facilitators, help people think about what it means to finish the sentence. We should teach CS because. And as I'm going through these examples, keep that chat going. I see some great comments going there. Keep that chat going and finish the sentence for yourself. We have some examples from our network that say we should teach CS because kids need to know how the digital world works in order to participate in it well. Well, there's your citizenship and civic engagement. They're talking about participating in the digital world as a citizen. Here's another one. We need to promote a more diverse tech workforce. So in here, you're hearing that economic and workforce development argument, but at the same time, we're talking about a diverse tech workforce, which is equity and social justice. All right, last one. We should teach CS because it will allow youth to solve problems in their communities through technology. There's your technological, social, and scientific innovation. They're solving problems, they're making new things. But there's also an equity and social justice lens. We don't always give youth voice, the opportunity to come through in imagining the solutions in our communities. And then finally, they're working in their community for civic change. And so there's a citizenship and civic engagement lens. And what we do when we do Script is we really try and think about how to connect that to pedagogy and practice. So Ren, as our folks out on the chat, out on YouTube, start to think about how they might finish that sentence, tell us a little bit about how we use this with Script with school districts.
Thanks, Leanne. So Script, the Strategic CS for All resource and implementation planning tool, is a framework we use to help teams of educators collaborate around what CS education looks like, feels like for them. It looks different for everyone based on who the community is, who the students are. And it supports districts in creating a K-12 implementation plan that is unique for each district. But we want to make sure it's actionable and that the goals that are set up during the Script process are attainable. Next slide. And with this map, you can see that we've got Script happening across the nation. And so the legend is really tiny, so I'm going to tell you what it says. So the pink states are, light pink states are those where districts have participated in Script workshops. The blue states have trained facilitators leading Script workshops. The red states have statewide computer science initiatives where implementation includes Script workshops led by trained facilitators. And then the light blue states with California, Wisconsin, and Oklahoma are the newest members of our Script community. And so if you're looking at this map and maybe you see yourself with a color or maybe you don't, and you want to know, how do we get involved or what's next for us? Please reach out to us at script@csforall.org and we can connect you with a facilitator, or if you're interested in being a facilitator, we can help you take those next steps. Next slide. And so that brings us to our webinar today, where we want to tell you more about we don't want to tell you. We want voices from the field to tell you more about the success stories of Script. And we are so happy to have our panel join us today. And so we have Gertie Monat from Keystone AEA in Iowa, Corey Rogers from Grantwood AEA in Iowa, Avni Dyer from the Patent Network in Pennsylvania, and Laura Schmidt from MKE Tech in Wisconsin. And we're so thankful that you all could join us today. Thank you. And we look forward to hearing the stories and the steps that you've taken to make Script happen in your local communities. So why don't we start by having you each introduce yourself, tell us your position and a little about the organization you represent. Laura, I'm going to pick on you first, just because you're first on my screen.
Can you hear me okay? Awesome. I'm Laura Schmidt. I'm the Chief Talent Development Officer for the Milwaukee Tech Coalition. We're a nonprofit that serves southeastern Wisconsin. And our mission and vision is to inclusively double the tech talent in order to be able to create sustainable economic development and life-changing jobs in our region. And so we can't necessarily do that if we don't have students coming out of the school system ready for a digital economy. So that's what we do, and that's our why, and we're just really excited to be here.
Thanks, Laura. Corey?
Hi, I'm Corey Rogers. I'm a digital learning consultant at Grantwood Area Education Agency, or AEA. And I support teachers with technology integration and computer science education. So provide professional development and coaching to teachers to help them build their identity as computer science educators. And I'm also the president of CSTA Iowa. So in both roles, Script plays a huge role for us in Iowa in helping our districts build the vision and build a pipeline for computer science education, and then helps our teachers to feel successful and have a vision of what this could be as we begin this journey down the computer science education road.
Thanks, Corey. Gertie?
Hi, I'm Gertie Monat. I work for Keystone Area Education Agency, or AEA, as Corey mentioned. I serve in Northeast Iowa, and I'm a school improvement consultant, but actually specializing in the areas of math and computer science. And so I work with teachers across the Northeast part of the state, and promoting and actually helping whichever way they need some support in math or computer science. And in our AEA, we serve 21 public schools and 27 non-public schools in an area of about 5,000 square miles. So all of our schools, except for one, are rural schools, and many of them are small.
Thanks, Gertie. And Avni, can you introduce yourself?
Yeah, hi, I'm Avni Dyer. I work for the Pennsylvania, it's a lot of acronyms here. Pennsylvania Training and Technical Assistant Network, otherwise known as PATN. We are part of a statewide initiative for computer science. So it's me and a team of 3. And I specifically am the script lead for our state.
Thank you. And we're so glad to have you all. Thank you and welcome. Let's get started with the script conversation. And why don't you tell us a little bit about how you got started with script in your community, in your area?
Do you want me to start?
And I'll leave it. Yep, that'd be great. Thanks.
In my prior role, I supported a school district. I supported a superintendent who was really focused on improving the educational opportunities in high schools. And part of that work was the development of academic and career planning in the state of Wisconsin. In grades 6 through 12, we're overachievers. So in our district, we went from K through 12 career planning. And as part of that, also, we wanted to develop pathways for computer science and digital careers. And at the time that I started in that district, there were no students enrolled in computer science. So there was a couple students who were being provided independent learning opportunities and not doing very well, just simply because they didn't necessarily have the same level of support and the peer engagement. And so that was something that our superintendent really wanted to fix. We did a number of different pathways: manufacturing, healthcare, construction, but we really wanted to focus on computer science. And at the end of the day, one of the things that I realized was one of the most positive and important levers is having a superintendent champion. And what I see in many of our schools is that district leadership ends up asking all of the weight to be put on a computer science teacher or a math teacher, a science teacher, or a instructional learning specialist. And it just never seemed fair, to be honest. It didn't seem like a fair expectation. And so when I started in my new role, one of the things I learned about was script. And it just aligned perfectly, because to me, it focuses on the importance and the role of leadership at the administrative level and the ability to bring a team along to figure out how to integrate it K through 12 instead of treating computer science like an elective, which I believe is really doing a disservice for inclusion. And so that was why I got pretty passionate about CS for All script. It did not exist in the state of Wisconsin. We did not at the time have a computer science plan. And so our organization approved the ability to sponsor our first cohort in the state of Wisconsin with 7 districts, and really across urban and suburban schools. And we learned that a lot of them have all of the same issues and the same needs. And so now we're in the process of trying to work through how to help address some of those needs with our community partners. So that's how we got involved. And I'm just thrilled that the state of Wisconsin has picked up state CS for All and is implementing it through all of our CISAs across the state. So kudos to our state team. Thanks for letting me share.
I feel like Gertie and I may be a little bit of a two-headed monster for Iowa. So I'll start and then I'll hand it off. Oops, going to go this way. Hand it off to Gertie a little bit. What I would say in Iowa is we had pockets of excellence, and we have our code.org facilitator is a partner called NuboCo, and they do great work for, I don't know, it feels like forever, 5 to 10 years. They've been doing great work at training teachers. And what we were seeing was we would have individual teachers get really excited and then come up against barriers. And it's everyone's good intention and wanting what's best for kids, but it could be a counselor or an administrator that didn't have the same vision for computer science as that teacher. And so in seeking out solutions, we felt like systems change is where it's at. And we're really fortunate to have Script come up and start to talk about. A district went to one of the national summits and said, like, this is what we need to build a team, to build a collective vision. And then for us in Iowa, if a teacher is to move, then that computer science initiative and love doesn't leave, because you've got a team effort and a team vision of what that looks like for kids. So I would say we had a district or two that went to a national summit and brought the good news back to us. And then what we did in Iowa was build a team of our AEA collective consultant group to say, hey, this needs to be a statewide effort. So then I'm going to hand over to Gertie. So Gertie, what happened then?
Yeah, so to piggyback off of this, Corey was gracious, and Grantwood AEA was gracious enough to kind of invite us all in to become facilitators, to learn, to go through that workshop and the training with them. And so we actually end up with all AEAs having someone that can actually provide the script, facilitate the script training. So that's been an awesome opportunity for us. And then actually that workshop happened right before COVID hit. And so all of us left with great plans, and then school shut down. So kind of had to put some things on the back burner because it was hard to figure out how we were going to make this all work. But in the fall then of 2020, our AEA wrote a grant to provide script workshop. Actually, we kind of thought about what Corey had mentioned, and we saw that same thing. The idea of it really needs to be a system approach. It can't be individual teachers because they feel very isolated and alone, and they don't have that support system. So we knew that there was a need for a system for the entire school district to kind of have somebody there to support them in that work. And so Script just seemed like a very natural fit for us. And so through the Iowa Department of Education, there was a grant available, and Keystone was able to receive funds to provide stipend and or subpay for teachers to attend with their district and kind of develop that K-12 computer science plan. So thanks for Corey and her AEA for kind of leading that charge and helping Iowa get started.
And what we're really proud of as a statewide group is we have 119 districts of roughly 300 in our state that have been through Script, and we have 71 that are committed to attending one before the end of the year. And so, it takes a village, right? Like, we're all working together to support districts. And I think I can comfortably speak for Gertie and say, like, we're just really passionate about making sure all kids in Iowa get access to high quality computer science. And we know that's going to take time, but Script is what helps us to jumpstart the effort.
So that leaves me. So in Pennsylvania, we started back in 2018. Our governor implemented the PA Smart Grant. This was a huge breakthrough for us when we talk about computer science within this state. So we created at Patton a K-8 pathway for our teachers, and then a 7-12 pathway. We quickly started to realize that we need something that sort of takes shape as a district level and as a district team, how we can go ahead and move forward. And it's not just standalone, like, hey, it's elementary and middle school in one pod and then high school in another. We wanted something that would make it all comprehensive. So Script was a really great addition to the beginning of each of our pathways. It really helped. What we saw was that admin really took that role and that understanding of what the computer science teacher is going through and how others within the district who are maybe not computer science teachers can really get involved into this program. So even if a teacher is not teaching computer science, those students who are not in a computer science class are maybe getting a little sprinkling here and there within their curriculum. So it's been a really positive impact, and we're really fortunate for the grant. It has definitely started, and then we've seen other districts definitely get involved through our, we have intermediate units that are our regional supports within the state. So we've trained those people, and now we have over 70 facilitators within our state who've also been working with other districts within their region, making sure that everyone has an opportunity to take a Script workshop.
Thank you all for sharing those stories about Script. And I want to take it in a direction that several of you have mentioned about, Laura, you mentioned about a superintendent. And so my question is, how are you getting stakeholders to buy in? Because, Gertie and Corey mentioned about, these silos where we've got teachers that are interested in computer science and passionate, but they're the only ones. So what are you doing to engage a district and get that buy-in and get them to say, sure, we'll come along for this ride?
I can start with, we started with the vision. We started with the vision of what a college and career-ready graduate is. And it's easier to do it that way. So what doesn't work is, trying to assume that, we just need to teach manufacturing, or we need to teach computer science, or we need to advocate for any one discipline. That doesn't work. At least in my experience. So number one, teachers don't like to be told what to do, and either do district administrators. But I think when we start with the vision of a college and career ready graduate, and all teachers want that for their students, we start looking at what that North Star is. When we look at that North Star, we know that all of these students are entering a digital economy and a digital workforce. And I think when we talk about it, just saying, wouldn't you want some exposure? Wouldn't you want all students to understand the impact and the power of technology on the world around them, and the way it's disrupting the careers that they're going to be preparing for? And I think it's the acknowledgement that our system, our K-12 system, as well as our post-secondary education system, is not set up for this. It is not set up to integrate tech into marketing and manufacturing and all of the other disciplines that are accredited through a more siloed approach. And so from that perspective, it's really talking about the competencies that you want to make sure all students have by the time they graduate. From there, it becomes a little bit easier to say, okay, so then what does that look like in kindergarten? And what does that look like in middle school? And what does that look like in high school? Well, in high school, maybe it is an elective, but that can't be the end of the conversation, or we've missed the moment. So it all starts with that vision, that graduate profile, and then we go backwards from there and we say, how can we deliver on that vision of a graduate? So that's how we approach this work. And we were originally told that, it's just an elective. We ended up with pathways through Project Lead the Way for engineering students. We ended up with pathways to AP Computer Science Principles for all students. And we ended up with a pathway to AP Java for those students who really wanted to get a little bit more into programming. And then that led its way into pathways for data literacy and really data science, which weren't really part of any of the work that was happening in the schools at that time. So we went from nothing related to this to, I would say, one of the best and most comprehensive programs, and that the district is still doing amazing work in that space. I hope every district can do that someday.
So I heard Laura say districts and teachers don't like to be told what to do, but in all fairness, in Iowa, there's a requirement for all public and non-public districts to have a computer science plan by July of 2022. So districts have been voluntold that they're going to do this. But what I would say is the way I'm engaging with districts is to say that script is a way that allows them to honor and celebrate the work that's already being done, because our teachers are doing a lot of the type of thinking and honestly a lot of instruction that's aligned to computer science, but they're not doing it with intentionality, because computer science is new to many of our teachers. They didn't go to school to become computer science teachers. And so I think the way that we're able to kind of like get a bee to honey is to say this allows you to bring a team together. So this is a collective effort. It allows you to honor and celebrate what's currently happening. And then it allows you to set manageable next steps. Like, we will help you and support you on the way to get there, but it doesn't have to be that we go from 0 to 100. We're going to incrementally help you get there. And the other thing I think we're doing that helps districts to engage, at least at my AEA, is we're having regional virtual networks for those districts that have gone through script to come back together, to check in on their goals, see where they're at, and to network with other districts doing the same work. And I think that's really where the value is for them, to be able to say, we're a small rural district. We're not really sure how we're going to teach high school computer science. What are you doing? What professional development have you done? What have your kids really enjoyed? And so I think just like for those computer science teachers creating a community, script allows us to create a community for those districts so that they don't feel isolated in the work.
And I will echo a lot of things that Corey said. So yeah, the legislation is really helpful for us because we have to develop this K-12 computer science plan. Here, script is available to help you do that work. But I also would say that some of our schools, or all of our schools, are used to in Iowa this something called the SAMI, which is their self-assessment of their MTSS system. And so it's very similar to the script process where they use rubrics and evaluate where they're at. And so we were able to make connections to what they're already doing, but this is actually through the lens of computer science now. And so I think anytime that you can make that connection for districts on, like, here, this is already what some of the work that you're already doing. Now we're going to do the same, something similar, but do it through the lens of computer science. I think that helps districts buy in.
And just to kind of echo what Corey was saying there was, I've never met an educator who doesn't love a to-do list. And that is essentially what you come away with at script. And I really do use that as a way to have buy-in from admin of saying, like, you're going to walk it out knowing exactly what to do to progress. It may not be perfect. It might not work out exactly the way you intend it, but it's okay. It's still progress every single time we try. Another big thing is talking to admin about the difference between what is computer science and what isn't computer science.
Yes.
Seeing the overlap of how much computer science actually can play into the rest of the curriculum that's offered at the school is huge. I've seen a lot of that aha moment in admin, which has always made me so excited. And another thing is it's hard, especially now with the pandemic. It's been really difficult getting teams together and getting all the teachers, and we ask school counselors to be there, admin, everybody in one room. But it has been really powerful, and just an opportunity for them to all meet has been really successful. Well, has been as successful as it's going to be, but we've had them really come together and walk away feeling really motivated. And then they talk to other districts, so that's definitely helped. And just similar to what Corey is doing in Iowa, we do a one-year workshop where we're offering districts to come back to us and say, all right, let's take a look at your script plans again. What went well? What didn't go well? What kind of fell on the wayside? And, we went through a whole pandemic. So we definitely fell, and that's totally okay. But just kind of giving that motivation of, it's okay, let's just jump back on, and guiding them while helping them create a to-do list that is unique and personalized to the
Yeah,
district
that's great.
has been huge.
And can I just add one thing? I just love what you guys are saying about that ability to make it practical and aligned, and then also to have it not be duplicative. I think the other thing that Script did is it really that why, the why exercise and why are we doing this? That was a huge, I don't think they thought of it the same way. I mean, I think that's huge. The community partnership piece, I think the number of community organizations in any one of our ecosystems that are there to help, making sure that they understand that they're not going to have to do it alone, but that there are people to help them. That was transformative. And honestly, I don't know that our districts would have really understood the level of support there was in the region for them to start on this journey and to just do that baby step, and to know that it's not us telling them what to do, but rather helping them chart a path and their own goals and then make steps along the way. And so I just think Script does that beautifully. It's just a roadmap. It's just a fabulous asset.
So you all are talking about Script in some really interesting ways. And I've got one last question before we kind of wrap up the panel and move to Q&A. You know, we put some of our Script materials up on the website, including the rubrics that districts can use and a link to our Visions activity. But I'd love to hear from each of you how the facilitated workshop actually mattered or made a difference in that process, because I think all of you are talking about things that come out the other end, the plans that districts are making and the way that they're bringing it to their districts. And I'm just sitting here like internally applauding, because I'm hearing so much of the facilitator training and our messaging in the work you're doing on the ground. And that just makes me so excited and glad that you're part of our network. So can you tell me a little bit about like the process and how that process has helped empower districts in addition to just the materials or the tools that you bring to them?
I can say just really shortly that, you know, we did the workshop. I think that was hugely valuable, and the facilitation was really important. And then the ability for them to call for support is important. We did try to provide, you know, the resources online in a way that would make sense. And the feedback was that they all wanted a workshop. They wanted to go back in again. And so I do think I'm really happy to see the level of support here from educational service agencies, because I know we have one up north in Wisconsin that does an unbelievably great job of that wraparound support. We are hoping to see all of our CSAs take on that role. That wraparound support, in addition to facilitation, but understanding then how to support them along the way is critical. And so I don't think they would do as well or make as much progress without the support of educational service agencies, in my opinion.
It's my turn. I feel like I believe the power is the people in the room. So the tools give us the framework. And I think the difference between the facilitated workshop versus having the resources is that I'm able to kind of do the mental lift in terms of like the keeping track of the flow of the day and asking probing questions, so that the administrators and the teacher teams can really dig in and have the tough conversations and have the celebratory moments of what's going well. But I think that's the power in that process. I think that's what you're getting at, Leanne, is that, you know, I feel like I'm the orchestrator for the day, but I can kind of keep all of that going, and my mental energy goes to that, so that the district teams can focus on planning for what's best for the educators and the kids to help computer science be successful in their system.
Yes, and I would agree that really it's the conversations that the districts are having is very powerful, and it's us helping kind of guide that. And because of COVID and all of the restrictions that has added to our plans, a lot of this has been done virtually. So that's that's kind of unique, right? So that they're all having these conversations in Zoom rooms, and we're jumping in and kind of helping with that. But I think it's helped us also in thinking about how do we make sure that they aren't just stuck at that novice level, that they have ideas on how to move forward. And so we've kind of added some additional resources and thinking about, like, here, if this is novice level and this is emerging, how are you going to get from novice to emerging? What are some questions that you might be able to address to kind of get yourself to move forward so that they're not stuck in those breakout rooms, kind of spinning their wheels.
And I think PA might be a little unique in this scenario where we have a very, very diverse state in terms of we have a huge rural area, we have suburban areas, and then we have the two major urban areas, Philadelphia and Pittsburgh. One of the biggest and most powerful tools that we've had the opportunity to use is our intermediate units. Because they are so hyper-focused within the region, they know what's going on. They're the ones who completely have an understanding of, this is a new company that's moving in and it's going to switch the economic workforce within that county or state or city. So we've been a lot relying on them to make sure that those pieces are integrated throughout the conversation. I will say in the beginning, it always that first rubric, I feel like more like a translator. This is what the teacher's saying. This is what the admin's saying. And then once they realize, oh, wait, we're all on the same track here, you can see the conversation moving and flowing. And it is a really beautiful process. I know that sounds weird to say, but it is really beautiful to see people who are truly passionate about having students have the best opportunities get together and get on the same page and then create a list and walk out feeling pretty well. It is really exciting.
Well, thank you all so much. I mean, we built Script to basically to give the teams a framework to come together and talk. And I love hearing that you all value that just as much as we did. And we purposely chose to look for partners like the independent units in Pittsburgh or your CSAs because they were embedded in the community, right? And education is local. And we have to honor the local needs and the hopes and dreams that parents have for their kids, because that's really what's at the heart of making this all go and work. So I'm going to turn it back over to Ren and Karen to have them moderate some questions from the chat. And I see some coming in. Keep them coming. We want to hear questions from you. What do you want to know from our panel or from our amazing CS for All team as we go?
Yeah, thank you, Leanne. So we've got one question that's popped in from the chat already for our awesome panelists. So the question is, what have you found to be critical to school or district success after they've been through the whole Script process? And this might be like follow-ups or refresh sessions, any kind of tips that you might have found really helpful in making sure that those schools and districts are successful.
I can take that one. I know Corey already mentioned the networking sessions that she's holding, and we are doing the same thing. We are trying to get districts together to kind of share out, and it's less about us talking and more about them talking and sharing out, because I think it's really important for districts who maybe all feel like this is brand new to us and we don't know what to do next, to hear ideas from other schools. And like tonight, we have a school district that is fairly new to CS, that they are hosting a CS is Everywhere night, that they're inviting their parents, their community members in. And instead of doing a STEAM night, they decided to really focus on computer science this year. And they have the CS Hero posters from CSTA hanging up all over their building with all of their CSTA heroes or CS heroes. So I think getting ideas from other districts and hearing from others on how they're kind of going about reaching those goals that they set and moving their district forward, I think is really powerful.
I would also add, I think sometimes, at least in me and Gertie's role, it's being an accountability partner, because we all have really good intentions, but I think we all can recognize that sometimes everything in education right now feels like one more thing that you need to do. And so the other thing I found outside of the network is kind of just like gently tapping and saying like, hey, it's been 3 or 4 months. How's it going? Where are you at? What do you need? And some of the districts, I come and sit in the room with them so that they have a meeting, but it's just so they have that protected time and an accountability partner. So I think that's another important piece of what we can do to help support districts.
We did this, November was our first time we ever ran a statewide 1-year workshop. It was a half day, it was virtual. We invited the intermediate units to sit in the rooms, in the breakout rooms with the team. So that way they had a familiar face that they knew. And while we ran the main session, it was, honestly, I wasn't expecting as many people there as I did. There were some people who hadn't engaged in scripts since 2019. So they were coming back to the table. They were excited. We had 16 LEAs, and the only reason we couldn't have more was because we couldn't handle the capacity, which was a pretty great problem to have.
Yeah.
We did offer it throughout the month. I know our IU partners have offered it individually, so they still have the opportunity to engage. But a lot of them came back and basically tore up their plan and said, "This is brand new. We have to restart because things happened and we have to move." And the pandemic really did hinder what they could and couldn't do in computer science anymore. But that has really helped make sure that it keeps going. It's not a one-off. And this is one of my favorite parts about the script workshop is it's not a one-off. It's continuous. You're going to continue to see progress. And it's been really
The only other thing I would say is the leaning in. If you're organizing or convening individuals, I do think it's important to lean in and listen to where their barriers are and to identify whether or not do we have a solution for that in the region? Because if not, maybe we need to build that. And not going through and just checking boxes, but actually saying, okay, so every district, suburban or urban, are having the same issue with X. What are we going to do to solve for that? And making sure that there's someone in the room that is going to take that action item forward. That would be my biggest ask.
Yeah, thank you guys for sharing these different tips for success and really checking in to make sure that that continuity and that sustainability exists within those local districts that you're working with. We have another question from the chat, and it is, what are some general tips to engage the higher ups to advocate for CS education when one doesn't have a program to show off to them yet? Any thoughts on that?
I mentioned it earlier, and I think it's one of the things I keep mentioning is making sure that they understand the difference between what is computer science and what isn't. I've seen a lot of, like I said earlier, like the aha moments come into admin that like, oh wow, we really need that now. And helping them also connect with other districts or LEAs within the area that has connected with computer science and seeing the progress that it can make in a student's life. And again, going back to that workforce idea, the workforce is changing, especially with the last year and a half we've had. It's changing, and our schools need to keep up with it. And computer science is a great start. It's a great way to start saying, okay, let's integrate technology into our everyday lives and into our computer science or into our other classroom classes as well.
I think business partners are a key as well. In Southeast Iowa, where I'm at, we've got a very active group of, they're called our IT sector board, but a very active and supportive group of professionals that I think sometimes when administrators hear from them how critical it is that our kids are engaged in computer science education, it only strengthens the message from the educators also saying that. And then to go back to the tools, I think that visioning tool is really powerful. And I don't know if Leanne wants to put earmuffs on or not. I don't know how she's gonna feel about this, but like I sell it like a 17 quiz sometimes. Like, you know, remember when you go through the 17 magazine and you'd answer the questions and it'd tell you, I don't know, who your teen heartthrob was. I think the visions quiz is very much that way. So sometimes I think coming at it with humor, but then also saying like, you know, this is another way to link into the initiatives that are really strong in your school. So one of the schools I work with is very much wanting to make sure they're addressing equity for kids. And computer science is an equity issue. We have to have all of our kids have access to computer science if we want them to have a fighting chance at a healthy career and a healthy adulthood. And so I think it's about using those tools that are available to hook into what's happening in the local community and honor that.
I just have to say, Corey, I love that idea of like the 17 magazine quiz, except we want to make sure that it doesn't end with the like, you're just going to do this one thing, right? We want to
exactly.
set that up. But no, I love that. And Visions is meant to be that. It's not supposed to be like some scientific like thing that anchors you into the perfect, but it's just a way for you to think about what's happening and to get people on the same page. But I really love that. I just had to jump in because I love that analogy. And we've seen it be used in so many creative ways. We've seen school districts use it with their school board to involve those voices. We've seen it be used at PTA nights to get the parents' voices into the district plans. We've seen principals use it in like warm-ups for faculty meetings as a way to get teachers, even if they're not the computer science teacher, right, to get all teachers to feel that. And so we've seen it be used in so many different ways. And we're going to share with you at the end of this call some ways that you can take and use Visions yourself. So I'm just going to forward a little bit of what Karen and Ren are going to share in a minute.
Yeah, as we're wrapping up this Q&A session, do any of our panelists have any last words of inspiration or encouragement to share with those that might be in our audience that are looking to get started on these kinds of initiatives?
I think the only thing I'm going to add is we hear a lot of perceived barriers. We can't do computer science because, and I think it's we got to flip that script. We can do computer science in this way. And it doesn't have to look the same in every classroom and every district. So the why is really important, but having them understand that the what can look like in so many different ways, just to be able to say, just take that first step for the benefit of all of the students that we all serve. So that would be my one thing, is to always flip the script. I understand what you can't do. What can you do?
I would say try one thing. Just try one thing. If you're a teacher, start a club, do an hour of code, do one thing. If you're an administrator, ask one teacher to give it, like, just, if everyone did one little thing, all those little things add up really quick.
And I would say that I know at the end of the script workshop, there's a slide that says it's a marathon, and not a sprint. And I think that's great information for schools to realize, like, just like Corey said, start with something small and know that you're in it for the long haul, and there's lots of people there to support you and help you with it. And it's probably one of the few areas that there are so many resources that are low to no cost, great high quality resources available.
Yeah, and just going off of that, you have so much support across the country. I know that I can type in computer science in a Google search engine, just computer science education, and there are so many things that you can start. And again, they're cost effective to little to no cost, and it can really take you somewhere if you just start with a search.
All right. Thank you so much again to our amazing panelists from our nationwide Script network. Thank you so much for sharing your expertise and taking the time to talk to our audience today about your experiences with using Script and encouraging those in our audience to get involved, right? That's kind of our theme today, is to get involved. And so we're going to find out kind of like what that impact of computer science education is most important for those that are active. So we've got a slide that we're going to pull up real quick just to share with you. A team of researchers from our partnership with CS for All, like Leanne said, has put together the CS Visions tool and framework to help districts and their leaders kind of really define why computer science education is important. Now, something we'd like for you to get involved with your work as a part of CS Ed Week is to really find out why your computer science reason is. What is your reason, and why do you want to learn computer science? So for this year's CS Ed Week, the CS for All script team adapted these existing tools to be family and student friendly as well. We want this to be able to be accessible for a wider audience. So check out the activities and resources available at csedweek.org/involve, and we'll drop that in some of the chats as well. And there you can build your own computer science learning action plan. So you can take the CS Visions quiz, you can get involved and fill out an action plan for how you want to take action in your own computer science learning. And before we pass it back over to Nate and Sheila, we want to let you know that there's lots of different ways you can get involved and stay in touch with the CS for All team. You can I think it's still shifting over, but you can register to be a member of our CS for All National Network. And you can also sign up for our monthly newsletter. Follow us on social media on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram at CS for All, as well as on Medium. You can check out some of our amazing stories from all of our members in our network across the United States. So that is it from us. We're going to pass it back to Nate and Sheila.
Thank you so much. It was so heartwarming as I was listening, hearing how supported we as teachers are through all these great resources to help our admin and our districts. It's really great because sometimes as a teacher, we don't hear often what's happening on the district level. So it's really great to hear about all these resources. So thank you so much.
And just to echo off Sheila, we definitely want to thank you all, Leanne and your entire team and CS for All for just speaking with us. Really, really a great thing. You know, a couple of things that really stuck out to me is this idea of just changing the culture of introducing computer science every single place along the K through 12 spectrum. And this notion that it's not just a throwaway elective course, but how do we integrate that the same way we look at literacy, right? When a child reads and writes early on, computer science needs to be looked at in that same kind of respect. Because I'm always telling my students, let me teach you how to be a producer of technology, not just a consumer. So thank you all once again, really, for that. And just for everybody who's been with us the entire week and whatnot, just who stayed with us, who participated, who all of your questions, comments from people. We really just enjoyed this whole entire week. And I think we have a couple of slides that we have to, there we go, that we're going to put up there and whatnot. And so, like I said, we just want to thank everybody for an amazing CS Ed week. We definitely want to see you all again next year. So please make sure you save the date for CS Ed Week 2022, December 5th through the 11th. If you enjoyed me and Sheila or Sheila and I as your hosts, hopefully we'll be back next year. Shameless plug, just going to throw that out there. So you can enjoy it again with us next year from December 5th to December 11th.
Yes, absolutely. And if you'd like to continue the conversation on the theme of CS everywhere, you can join CSTA on February 12th for the CS Across the Curriculum Virtual Summit. We will be exploring ways to integrate computer science into all subjects and grade levels. And the summit is tailored for teachers who teach any subject in grades K through 12 or those who already teach computer science. You can visit the link on the screen to register, and just to let you know, scholarship opportunities are also available. We've really enjoyed this CS Ed Week, and we hope to see you at CS Across the Curriculum Virtual Summit, February 12th.
A big thank you to all of the amazing partners who helped lead this week's events, the Caper Center, ECEP, CS for All, Code.org, CSTA, and of course, a big thank you to the development and team behind the scenes with CS Ed Week, Michelle, Dana, you ladies and your entire team. We just want to thank you all for just putting on an amazing event this week.
And thank you, the audience members, for joining us all through this week. We hope you've really enjoyed everything that has been said and hope it sparked you to continue to do the hard work that you are doing. And be sure to check out the CS Ed Week social media channels tomorrow for a special video in honor of Friday's theme, Inspire. So from all of us, from Nate and I, we've enjoyed co-hosting together. We'd like to say bye for now and thank you. We'll see you all next year and at the CS Across the Curriculum Virtual Summit, February 12th. Bye, everyone.